And welcome back, everybody, to Just Kidding News Out of the Closet, where today Steve coming out the closet with the greatest love of his life story, crypto.
Not really, but yeah. I mean, look, I never had a hobby before in my life that I really fell in love with. Never.
What about like watching football and stuff? No.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not a hobby.
Football's
though, right?
not a. I guess
like being
is
a
it?
fan.
You don't want it to be
Watching. Playing football is a hobby.
Fantasy football, you get into all the stats and all that.
That's true.
That's not a hobby to enjoy the sport as a
leisure.
Yeah.
No. Hobby is when you do something.
You gotta do it.
Just watching
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
sidelines, you're just watching better men do better
But when
things.
you're like reading the articles, you're studying the plays, you're going like.
You're an enthusiast. Yeah, enthusiast or fan.
I think it's more than
Enthusiast or fan.
I'm a fan. I'm just a fan.
Like writing could be a hobby.
Right. But yeah, no, it is until you get paid for it, right? Like, but yeah, I think like for example, when I'm watching like the Colts, I have nothing to fucking do with it, right? Like, whereas like if I'm doing, if you're following something in crypto, like you're engaged with it, right? You're like part of it or whatever.
And it's still a hobby for you because you've never been paid for it.
Yeah, never been paid for it. Exactly. So smart. So true. Yeah, no. So I never had a hobby really. Like I never got into gaming. Like I have a brother who loves gaming.
Not Mario Kart.
Exactly. I'm more casual, right? And I played like games to fuck with people mostly. Like I played this game called.
The real game is the talking of the shit.
That's exactly. The Star Wars Galaxies. I am a legend because I destroyed the first wedding that they tried to have in Star Wars Galaxies, and that's the only reason I played the game is so I could fuck with people, right? Like. That's why you do, and I played this game called EverQuest where I used to pull specters to docks. I used to pull specters to docks. What's happening? Specters to docks. Just so I could fuck people over with that because it was funny to me. And in EverQuest, if you die, it's really serious. You lose like levels and shit. So it's like a big deal. It takes a long time to get levels. So people were real pissed. So stuff like that I enjoy, but it's not my hobby, right? My brother plays like fucking goddamn Kingdom Hearts and shit like that. Shit that you can. I'd rather get caught watching gay porn, dude, while getting sucked off by a man. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never play fucking Kingdom Hearts or whatever. So it's like, you know, I didn't think I would ever find a hobby. Not really, right? Like people been trying to sell me on golf forever. I have no idea if I'll ever like golf. I just did Top Golf with Phil and the boys, like for my fantasy football league, like a week ago. I could give a fuck to play golf, right? Every
That's
time.
not what you said when we were talking. Me and Ron were talking.
No. All I mean by that is I will hang with the boys, right?
Not inviting you anymore.
I don't know. You should. I'll be a rider. But I don't know that I'll ever be good enough at golf because I don't know if I'll ever care enough about getting the ball in.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but to me, the thing that I like the most about crypto is I really like crypto as an idea. I think our monetary system is completely fucking fucked. I think that the way that they inflate our dollar at all times is obviously having real world ramifications that we've been talking about for goddamn years. Yeah. We were warning people that this was going to happen. And now you just see your dollar. If you put your dollar in a savings account, you just see it fucking chill there. And then you find out, oh, guess what? They printed even more money. So my $5,000 in savings is even less next year. So I agree with the mission statement of crypto. It's not always applied correctly, but I feel like the idea of a decentralized market with money, aka like Bitcoin, right, that cannot be replicated or printed, has a real world application to it that I think will impact millions. It obviously already is. Like El Salvador right now is adopting it heavily. We have Bitcoin ETFs now for the first time ever. Basically, people can now go to their Fidelity or any of these places and say, I would like to have some Bitcoin exposure. And financial advisors are not saying don't do that. They're saying like, yeah, you should actually get some Bitcoin exposure.
Do you remember when you first discovered it?
I was at Baker Studios. I was with my buddy Peter Gilroy. He was like, I bought this thing called Bitcoin. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I'm a writer. 30 minutes later, I had a Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, it was like that.
But was it like love at first sight, or did you just have it and then later you revisited?
I had it. I thought it was funny, and that was basically it.
What was it worth at the time?
It was $1,000, and then it tanked all the way to $250.
You just in 30 minutes just spent $1,000 like that?
Yeah.
Gangster.
Oh, Bart, you have to understand, the numbies was good, baby. Numbies was so good.
I kind of do that nowadays.
Yeah, you do. He does it all the fucking time. So yeah.
Lost it all.
Lost it all, baby. No, so then, yeah, me and Gilroy, we were buying Bitcoin. And then I was like, And then I remember it went down, and I remember telling Nikki I bought Bitcoin. She was fucking pissed at me because she's like, I thought we do stuff together. And I was like, God damn, bitch, get off my fucking back.
Why?
It's just because I
gotta hate on Bitcoin.
It's because I didn't explain it to her because I really didn't understand it. So then I was just like, you know what I mean? But then,
Get off my back.
yeah, get off my fucking back, girl. Jesus Christ, get that big ass off my back, dude. So then,
Let me do what I want.
yeah. So then a couple years went by, and I remember my ma telling me that my old man had no plan for them, like no plan. Like, hey, you know, if something happens, she's like, the old man's plan is that we will move into a Holiday Inn. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. I was like, you'll have all these scripts swirling around, nibbies on them. And then also, too, there's a little trick in the industry. You don't get paid for quite significant amounts of time sometimes. So you have to wait for these movies to not just get, you know, you sell them, but then you don't even get paid sometimes for a long time. So I was like, okay, I have to do something where I can just take care of my mom, not really worry about shit. I was like, I wonder how that Bitcoin shit's doing right now. And this was like 2015. And that was when I got really hyper engaged into crypto as a hobby. Like I was like, you know, learning more about it every single day, like throwing my entire brain into it. And
What happened when you look back at the Bitcoin? Did it go up like crazy or?
it was just chilling.
Oh, okay.
Bitcoin was chilling. It was like pre-1,000 again. It was like still sideways or whatever. And then I got into this thing called Ethereum, like $5, $6, $7, $8. And I remember just finding it and being like, this isn't like a Bitcoin clone like some of the other ones are, right? There's a couple Bitcoin clones out there. There's a lot of them now, obviously, but back then there was just a few. Litecoin, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to bet on the smart contract platform. I think it makes sense to have two parties be able to enter an agreement permissionlessly. So there's no middleman. Like, guess what's going to happen eventually? And it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen eventually. There's going to be no more notaries, kids. All that stuff, contracts, all that stuff's going to be solved by the blockchain. It will be. It's not ready for prime time yet, right? So, but a lot of this stuff, real world applications, middleman stuff, will be completely solved and fixed by blockchain. So that's when I really got into it hyper. And then I was buying Ethereum early days, and then it like basically exploded within 3 months. And I remember telling Nikki, I was like, I was waiting on a movie check. I think it was for the thinning. I was waiting on like a lot of money. And I was like, I gotta fucking get in now, dude. I was like, I gotta get in right the fuck now. And so we put in 15 G's. Oh. I watched that shit balloon in 250 in like barely 5 months.
Wow.
So you made $250,000?
Yeah, in like 5 months.
Shit.
Yeah, and I knew why I bought it, right? So like when Ethereum corrected or whatever, I didn't give a fuck. But I remember at the time too, I watched it. I was buying it like I think my dollar cost average at the time was like $7.50 or something like that for Ethereum.
7?
And I remember it going to 20, and I remember watching people sell it at 20, and you could see, you know, if you're on like Coinbase or whatever, you can see people selling and buying and everything. I was like, man, people are really selling this at $20. So there's just, maybe they were in really early. I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I was like, maybe they're in like fucking pre-$1 even. So they're just like taking profits. Okay, that's interesting. But when you think about the people who held it instead,
Today?
different game. Oh, it's fucking what? $2,000 today? $2,000 each, right? And I just remember, you know, again, was it awesome to see the number go up? Duh. Number go up is so sick and everyone loves number go up. But knowing why you bought is so much more interesting to me than number go up. Like, because number will go up if you know why you bought and you placed a good bet, right? Basically, educated bet or whatever. And so to me, that became my mission statement in crypto. I was like, I want to find things that are going to be things that the market needs, like smart contracts. Like, the market needed smart contracts. That's why Ethereum blew the fuck up. People are like, oh yeah, Ethereum blew up because like, oh, you know, it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm like, bro, people use this shit every fucking day. That's why, dude,
All the altcoins is because of Ethereum.
dude, during the bear market, when I was like, I beg of people to see that there are more people using crypto today than were using it during the last bull market zenith, just before everything plummeted. Like, people are using this stuff. You don't understand it. Just because you hate it, I get it. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I get it. You're so smart. You know everything. People are using this stuff every day. Do you know that? No, you don't. So maybe actually be curious about it instead of like being so dismissive, which is what everyone does. It's fine. It's totally fine. Be dismissive. And by the way, if you don't have the fucking brain for this shit, and all I mean by that is like if you're not like a hard-nosed human being who can handle it, like if you can't handle, like, it's a mental game.
Oh yeah.
And if you can't handle the mental game, you should stay the fuck away. You really should. And you should stay away from probably investing in general. So yeah, that's when I think I met you guys.
I remember this. Yeah.
Going to like it was already like I think $130, some shit like that. And I was telling you guys about how I got in real early days on it. And then I started getting into OMG because ultimately, like, Ethereum was great, and it still is, but Ethereum needed to scale, so I was attacking what the market needs, right? It's always about what the market needs. Like, so Ethereum can't scale. This is a problem that Ethereum has had its whole existence, where the more you use it, the more expensive it is to use the chain because all these fucking transactions are happening. And
That's why you gotta pay for the gas fees.
that's it. The gas fees get fucking ballistic. I've paid some days like an Xbox for just like moving my shit around, right? Because if you're moving $250,000 and it costs you $300, it is what it is, right? So, but yeah, that was my understanding of like, okay, I understand what the market needs because I it's not just me out and I'm in a vacuum. I know people in this space because again, hobby boy, right? It's like we're a bunch of adult men. We do trains, but we all talk about, oh, we'll use these wheels, these tracks. Right? We need these trees. Don't use those trees because they deteriorate fast. Like that kind of shit. So then, yeah, I got really into that and into understanding market needs. And that's kind of where my addiction to crypto has remained, where I just stay focused on what the market needs. And then you can just look at all the noise, quiet the noise, just focus on like the mission statement, right? What's it doing for the world? Ultimately, that's where I'm at. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. I love this shit.
We haven't talked about crypto on this channel for so long.
It's been a minute.
It's crazy. But I guess that means the market's been so ass.
You know what's crazy?
It's been sideways, really.
When Steve said in 30 minutes he bought one Bitcoin for 1,000, and I was like, oh, 1,000, that's a fuck ton. And then I think back to when Steve was telling us about OMG in the JK Party green room. I was like, I remember that night I spent 100.
Yeah.
100 G's on it.
100 G's?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? Shit. Yeah.
$100,000?
I spent $100,000 on it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You did do that.
He spent 300, I spent 100.
What the fuck?
And I was like, I can't believe I gasped at his. I was like, you spent $1,000. And I was like, wait, on OMG, I was just like, Steve's onto something. 100.
Did you guys make money? It wasn't, I mean, it seems impulsive, but by that time, so I remember when I first met Steve.
Yeah.
And then he was telling me about Bitcoin because every December, November, I do this thing where I buy gold for $1,000. And at that time, an ounce of gold was $1,000. And Bitcoin was $1,000. And I remember you telling me, like, I think you should buy Bitcoin. And I was like, well, I barely know this guy. And I don't know.
I just spent 300 then.
I just, I don't know who the fuck this guy. Well, no, I hadn't spent 300 at that time yet. This was almost 6 months plus knowing Steve. But after that, your Ethereum pumped. And then I was like, oh, this guy's actually making money. He knows what he's talking about. He's not just some charlatan.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, dude, you can be wrong with this stuff too, right? Like, I got mutilated by OMG insofar as I watched my investment go from, I think I got into OMG like $5-6, watched it go to $28, watched it go all the way down to 30 fucking cents or some shit. But then I was like, dude, I actually still know why I'm buying it because Ethereum still has a problem, needs to scale. OMG went to $10 from 30 cents. I remember telling Nadeem, I was like, I think it's gonna go $10 from here. And then when it happened, he's like, how the fuck did you do that? And I was just like, well, first of all, community price targets, bro. It's not me being a psychic or Miss fucking Cleo here. The community kept on saying that $10 was a target for them, like a dream target for them. So like that's how you kind of have insight on like where other people see their exits, and that's how you can kind of gauge. And it's an educated guess, you don't know. But like that's how you gauge like, okay, that's where other people are looking to get out too. So that means if it goes to $5, guess what a lot of people are thinking? It's not $10. Everyone keeps saying $10. So it just raises the ceiling in your brain about that stuff, right? So then, yeah, I've had a pretty good track record of being spot on when it comes to the cycle, right? The crypto market cycle, right? Like, insofar as every 4 years there is a predictive pattern that happens where you see 3 years of up moves, and then you see a huge down move, and then usually everybody's clowning on crypto. And then if you accumulate the down move for a while, you could really get a big fucking fat bag, right? And then when things pop up, you're just sitting on goddamn gains quick because you got your DCA nice and low like a little spring. And that's really ultimately what I've been focused on. But with the ETFs we had recently, I was like, shit, dude, I think we're in a left translated cycle, which all that means is like everything that's going to happen with the market 4 year cycle wise, it's about to be really fast and early compared to the usual cycle. So that's what I've been talking about in Crypto Corner, right? Where it's like, and me and my brother Kenny, we have debates about it because he's more of a bear and I'm more of a bull. So I always love having him on because it's good to debate. Again, open-minded person. You have to debate your ideas or else you're just a sycophant or whatever. So me and my brother all constantly do battle about this stuff all the time. Everyone who watches Crypto Corner knows this. But in a left translated cycle, you're supposed to have seen Bitcoin hit the new all-time high, which it already did, by the midpoint. And then you're supposed to really see like a continuance that we haven't seen yet, right? Like, things kind of went down from there. Like, we went to like the 75, 74,000 or 73, whatever range. And then we broke down from there. Alts got crushed, right? So now people are going, oh, fuck, it's a bear market, it's a bear market. It's not. So at the end of this month, we're in September right now. By, probably early October, we'll start to see some shit popping off, right? And then everyone's just going to be suddenly surprised. Holy shit. Because we're not in left translated cycle. We're back in a right translated cycle. We're back where we were supposed to be in a traditional 4 year cycle structure. So now it's just a complete continuance, and you get the beautiful structure of a 4 year cycle, which means more structure, more gains. So everything that we've been doing thus far, right? Accumulating Woo, for example, accumulating Coogi, for example. Everything is all about one thing. Cashing out into motherfucking Bitcoin, the king. Beating Bitcoin the ratios, cashing out into Bitcoin so that you don't have to spend that much on Bitcoin. You spent a little amount compared to buying a Bitcoin right now, for example. Yeah. Then you cash out into Bitcoin and then you fucking get the fuck out. So I'm targeting a spring exit right now. Based on traditional 4 year structure, that actually gives me enough breathing room where unless no fuck games happen, we should be fine. So that's ultimately where I'm at right now.
By next spring.
Yeah, by spring. Gone. Dunzo. See you later. But taking some Bitcoin home with me.
Until the next tip happens.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the next tip will again just be another buying opportunity accumulation range, right? But you just never, the market is a beautiful hobby of mine, a dance, and you never know everything, right? You just have good guesses based on history, based on data, and then based on what the market needs. That's what I focus on. That's why I love this stuff because, what Woo does right now, for example, people who are using, say, CowSwap, which is one of the bigger exchanges out there right now. It's almost like a Uniswap. Like you're just swapping one crypto for another crypto. Woo is on the back end quoting and fulfilling orders for CowSwap, and people don't even know they're using Woo. And the revenue generated by that goes to Woo stakers. So stuff like that is why I love crypto. Like, get me involved with the back end, with things that are doing things that are actually helping people. Like, for example, when I stake my Woo right now, I get I think on average 12-13% right now, but that's constantly in flux because it's based on real fees that are paid out to people based on usage. So it's all based on volume. So the more volume that picks up for Woo, the better. That's why I've been in the Woo the whole time, because they're a back-end liquidity provider and you get a piece of the action. So sign me up for that. And then, Coogi, a little different, right? Coogi got hit hard recently because Coogi had a liquidity issue, which I had been talking about for months on Crypto Corner. I'm like, this is pretty not fun, folks. Like, Coogi needs to fix the liquidity issue. And ultimately, they had a moment where they were basically using part of the Coogi community fund to provide liquidity to the ecosystem by essentially borrowing against it. Now that's really rough, right? And DJ.
That's what we do with Luna.
That's right. But it's a little different than Luna because well, ultimately they were using it to bootstrap liquidity, right? Whereas with Luna, it was actually a promotional period they were using for Anchor Protocol. If you remember, they were actually, it was like paid for. That's why the Anchor rewards were like, 20%, 18%, 16%, 14%. It was all fluid because it was based on, it's not that interesting. But point being, Coogi got hit with this liquidity issue, and then they just partnered with a group called Thorchain, who, guess what? One of the biggest things they do is liquidity, baby. Like, so Coogi's about to be plugged into a massive liquidity environment. And they're the reason why I got into Coogi in the first place, they're the best dApp builders in the game. I'm talking about like crypto apps, right? Like they're the best builders in the game. If you look at Orca, which is part of what the team was using to do the oopsie daisies, the oofy doofy. The coding for all this stuff is unbelievable. If you use this stuff, it's unbelievable. Again, there's some issues, RPC errors up and out the ass, but good stuff, right? They always make good stuff, and the team ships like no else. And there's a guy named Hans who is their lead dev, who is a motherfucking pimp, and that's worth the bet for me every time. You bet on really smart people who know what they're doing, and I think that bet is going to pay off big time because of Thorchain. So stay tuned, kids.
Because we're overly meta right now, and people are probably falling asleep at home.
Yeah.
Where do you think like crypto's future is in America based off of who wins the election this year?
Obviously, Trump is already out there, like ringing the bell for crypto, and Kamala Harris is already out there saying she wants to tax unrealized gains. So I don't think that a lot of crypto people are big fans, except for Chris Larson from Ripple, who just endorsed Kamala Harris for president. Enough fucking said. Ripple's a goddamn disaster shit show. So
Why would he do that? That's so weird.
Thank you. Exactly. Galaxy brain move, I guess. Maybe he's like, oh, she'll win and she'll be nice on me. I have no idea. But no, Trump is out there, and who knows if
Because he's pro Bitcoin.
who knows if he's gonna do it. Because he was a hater before.
Yeah.
He was like,
But he did
it's called
say-
the dollar. Bitcoin is gay. Right? Remember, he was always saying that.
But he did say in New York recently that he wants to make America the leading crypto nation of the world.
And honestly,
cool.
in crypto land, we have nowhere else to turn to. Because all these politicians have been so shit to us. Like, all we have is the lobby, really, the crypto lobby, which is basically funded by the Winklevoss twins, right? And then, so we just have to hope that, Trump will do
There's El
what
Salvador.
Yeah,
We're going El Salvador, boys.
exactly. But that's not, they don't have a lot of money.
No.
But it's a good example,
But
right?
they're trying to use Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they are.
Hey, you know what? Out of all that, if people didn't get it, this guy's really, really passionate about it. He's been in the game for a long time. He's got all of us in the game, whether or not we made money at high levels and lost money at higher levels. The point is, we've all been riders together.
Listen, you can't, the amounts that we have lost that people clown on us for losing, you had to have made that money somehow, bud. So we did pretty good until then we didn't sell.
Well, to back you up, you've done it 3 times. But I would argue it's been more than 3 times, because the last run, I started with 110K, and we didn't just do one coin. We did like 5 flips into 1.6 mil. So that, in all of the cases, it's our fault for not cashing out and taking profits. But at the end of the day,
I took more profits. I took profits last time. Took 6 figure profits.
yeah.
Should took
But
6 figures.
were you wrong? No. You picked the right racehorse.
Yeah, and ultimately, there's also a couple of smarties in this space who had to seed a couple of months ago that there was only a couple projects that beat Bitcoin in the ratios. 2 of them, Woo, Coogi. Yes, we dipped. Yes, they slid because of the dip. Yes, we're in a risk-off environment right now. Accumulation range. But you don't get that lucky, folks. It's not that easy. You got to do the work. You got to know, but you have to know what the market needs ultimately, and you have to trust really competent, smart teams. So, watch what happens next. Don't be shocked.